So this week the government's announced it wants to monitor who people are keeping in touch with on social networking sites, Facebook, Bebo, MySpace, that sort of thing. Apparently the security chiefs behind this, they don't want to monitor individual conversations, but they want to know who has the ability to get in touch with who. Is this a sensible security measure, or is this maybe invading privacy just a little too much?
I mean, I definitely think it's an invasion of privacy. And you know, they say they're not going to monitor individual conversations, they just want to know who people are in contact with. What if they think you're in contact with someone that might, surely they're going to monitor that conversation then? They wouldn't just let it go and not actually read what you're talking about. So I'm not sure that I actually believe that it's only going to be just who you're in contact with.
Yeah, I mean, I think the kind of the bit that really concerns me is the fact that they're going to be storing it all on a central government database. And we all know with that fiasco last year with the missing discs.
Not to mention the laptop on the train.
It happened about 3 times, did it not, that they lost people's data? It was over 1 million people. One of them was from a child, like a family services one, so they lost young children's and parents all their details. I don't think it was bank details, but it was lots of addresses and things like that.
Which, obviously in the wrong hands can...
And then there was the laptop which contained key details, I think, about the Iraq War, which was just left on a train somewhere by, obviously by a fairly senior civil servant, I believe. Just, of all things, forgot to pick up the government laptop when they got off the train. So,
I mean, this sort of thing happens to the best of us.
Exactly,
but it just goes to show that, if things are all put together in one big central database, how secure is it? I mean, I think that's the question we really need to be asking.
Because on this database, it's not only going to be social networking, it's going to be emails, phones, text.
Exactly. I mean, that's a lot of information to be, swinging around.
And along with the fact that we might have ID cards in the future, it just seems like everything that we're doing is going to be monitored and kept in a government department.
Exactly. I mean, it's, before long, they're going to know every time you go and take a piss. It's just, they need that level of data and what are they going to do with it? I mean, I can understand needing to sort of monitor those few people that might prove a risk. I mean, that's just a sad consequence of the times we live in, but they're going to have so much data that they're never even going to use, and it's just, it seems a big waste of everyone's time and money, if you ask me.
I must admit, I find it a bit odd to think that they should be monitoring social networking websites of all places, because like most of the guys I went to uni with, I'm on Facebook and I've got a lot of friends from uni and some from school who I'm in touch with, but it doesn't strike me as a particularly good place to organise a terrorist attack. I mean, okay, a lot of terrorism is plotted online, but it really doesn't strike me that someone would, let's say, set up a Facebook group, I want to blow up Downing Street, join here. Generally, I think we have to credit terrorists with a little more intelligence than to do something like that.
I mean, I think you've got a good point, because the people that actually are going to do these things know that the government might be watching them, so are probably going to do it a lot more covertly. So it doesn't seem that it's necessary, I think.
Exactly, and of course there's also the whole issue of, obviously you've got a lot of people, friends on Facebook, and a lot of them, sort of people you might have met once or twice, and you've added them, and that's all fine, all like old friends from school or whatever, and then suddenly you had no real contact with them for years other than sort of like, oh hi, here I am on Facebook, and then this person that you might have not seen or spoken to in sort of 10, 15 years all of a sudden springs up as some kind of radicalist, and suddenly your profile's flagged and you've got absolutely nothing to do with it. It's all a bit... And I guess, I'd imagine that once you've had that tag somewhere on your profile, then they're going to be watching you for life, aren't they?
It's interesting because this story kind of comes in the wake of another 2 stories that are related. Like, there was one about the government's databases that they already hold. There was reports saying that they actually breach people's human rights. already some of the databases because government departments share the information on the database. So that's obviously already a problem. And there was also a news story last week about how protesters, if you go on a organised protest that's allowed by the police, you get filmed and recorded by a police department, and all your details get on a database as well. So it just seems like there's a lot of this going around at the moment.
I mean, I generally tend to come out on the side of the security services, mostly because of what I studied at uni. And I understand perhaps a little more than other people how they work and how the decisions are made. So I'm actually all in favour of people, you know, being recorded at protests, because, you know, protests do have an ability to be hijacked by a few people and radicalise and turn nasty. But again, just the idea of keeping details about someone you might have been in touch with online, you know, even if it is, like you said, just the one random friend ad who you went to school with and is now suddenly on a charge of terrorism, that, you know, even from my point of view, that's putting it a bit too far.
I just think it all ties together, and I think it's really uncomfortable. I mean, sometimes I go to protests and it's very intimidating to have a police camera in your face when you're just, you know, expressing an opinion, which you should be allowed to do. Or people go to protests for lots of different reasons. People just go to have a laugh and hang around with their friends who might be interested in that thing, and I just think it's a bit...
You say, you know, you're expressing an opinion, you know, you don't get, you know, logged and profiled every time you vote, do you? It just seems...
Well, we don't know that we do.
Well, this is true. Well, I don't remember having my photo taken last time I did.
But I just think we should have the freedom to do certain things without thinking, oh no, someone's looking over my shoulder, this might get misconstrued in this way or that way. I think, especially with the internet, you want to be able to use it, go to websites, read articles about things and not think, oh no, the government might find this and suddenly accuse me of something and I'll get in prison.
If you're looking at something or going along to something for an innocent reason, I don't suppose you should be punished. But again, I think every side here has to show some degree of restraint. I think that really is the only way we're going to, particularly in today's climate of suspicion, I think that's the only way we're going to get out. If we all take a step back and say, okay, this is what you do, this is what we do, and this is something we're generally not going to do as two groups together here.
I think generally we all agree that we don't really want the government to be looking on our Facebook accounts, but I think there's a bit of a difference of opinion exactly how far the government should go in monitoring people.